Welcome to the CEN show, a place where we learn from the world community. I am your host, Rasaki Maskani, and on the panel this evening is Professor Amin Ra, and we got Brother Mashinda. Our guest for this evening, Brother DX is coming in. Our guest for this evening is Brother Chawara. Brother Chawara is a recent team member of ours to kind of say. We haven't did anything official yet, but he's been on and he's been bringing us very good commentary, and we've been learning from him. So, Brother Chawara, you want to tell us your title and get started?
Yes, I am the harmonious unity of creation, the fearless arrow, Chiwara Ochosi. I am a Black man, freedom fighter, resistance, and I just want to share some good vibes. I live off of life, and life lives within me. So that's what I want to share with you this evening. As for my people, the Black nation. I'm addressing Black folks, Negroes, colored, whatever title we want to place upon ourselves, or whatever titles want to be placed upon us. It doesn't change our identity. We are the embodiment of our identity. So I'd like to share some things this evening. Are we good? Are we ready to roll? Because I want to jump right in there so we can have discussions and like. So what I'd like to do is try to, point out some things, but bear in mind that what I'm about to say is more vaster than where I'm coming from. We're talking about the new faculty, Black authority, Black on Black integration versus crime and criminality. What I'm going to do is try to show some examples of Black authority, but believe me, if I was to show examples of Black authority in action, and it would be volumes and volumes and volumes. So I'm just going to do some that people may be familiar with and stuff. I'm going to speak about Martin Delany. He came in in 1812, and he went out in 1885. Delany is an African-American abolitionist, considered the father of Black nationalism. Pan-Africanist ideas began to circle around the 19th century and led by mostly Africans in the Western Hemisphere. The most important Pan-Africanists were Martin Delany, Alexander Crummell, both African-Americans, and Edward Blyden, a West Indian. They were the first to bring forth Pan-Africanist ideas. Pan-Africanists opposed the idea of the outside influences and interference of colonialism and economic exploitation of Africa and the African diaspora. Then we're going to jump to Carter G. Woodson, great man, as was Delany, 1875 to 1950. Dr. Woodson was an important figure of the movement of Afrocentrism due to his perspective of placing Black people, people of African descent. I use the word ascent because I like to do ascent rather than to descend. We're rising, we're on the upward movement. This is a part of the new faculty. We have to look at ourselves as ascending to our greatness. At the center of the study of history and the human experience. So he put people of African descent at the center of the study of history and the human experience. After earning his degree, his doctoral degree, no university was willing to hire him. Woodson saw that the American Historical Society, the AHA, had no interest in Black history. Although he was a paying member of the AHA, he was not allowed to attend conferences. Woodson became convinced he had no future in the white-dominated historical profession, and to work as a Black historian would require creating an institutional structure that would make it possible for Black scholars to study history. Because Woodson lacked the funds, he turned to philanthropist institutions such as the Carnegie Foundation, Rosenwald Foundation, and of course the Rockefeller Foundation, which we know these are the criminals that perpetrate all the oppression in our history. So, you know, this was going on, but he was an example of Black excellence, Black genius, you know, in action. Okay, so he did that, and so after that, he was able, along with 4 other Black scholars, he founded an association for the study of Negro life and history in 1915 in Chicago. And we're going to move right along to Marcus Garvey, one of the most prolific and effective leaders of our time. 1887, he came in and he left out at 1940. Marcus Garvey Jr. was born in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, West Indies. Marcus Garvey was a Black world political activist who stood for unity between Africans and the African diaspora. He campaigned for an end to European, Caucasian, white, colonialist, imperialist rule in Africa and the African diaspora. Garvey advocated for the political unification of African peoples and the African continent. In addition, Marcus Garvey, was an orator for Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism movements and believed in racial separation, meaning separate but equal, because that was what it was before it became what they called it, the civil rights. So we gave away separate but equal rights and justice for civil rights. This made him a controversial figure in and out of the Black community, especially in the US, as his philosophy and opinions challenged major thought leader W.B. Du Bois, to which end Garvey founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Community League in Harlem. This was his second branch. The first branch was in Jamaica, West Indies. Garvey advanced a Pan-African philosophy which inspired global mass movement known as Garveyism. His goal was to start a new Black country in Africa. Garvey had so many followers that he was known as the Black Moses. Garveyism would eventually inspire others, from the Nation of Islam to the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, and the Rastafarian movement. If there's any questions, you know, we can, but I'd like to continue.
Any questions, anybody? For?
Okay, all praises to the Most High. We continue because we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. We're gonna talk about Garveyism to Rasta, to Rastafarian, and Rastafarianism. The original Rastas were Garveyites. We were resistors. We resisted the imperial colonialist system. That's why we actually divorced the system. And so it wasn't until later on they started calling us Rastas, because Marcus Garvey was very radical in his movement. He's very determined. So we were Garveyites. And so Marcus Garvey was the very first Rasta, technically, even though he would not say himself he's a Rasta, but technically he was the very first Rasta. And the reason being was he was the first to see the king through prophecy and pointed the way. Garvey prophesied, "Look to Africa, where a Black king shall be crowned. He shall be your redeemer," unquote. This statement became the foundation for the Rastafari movement. The prophecy was rapidly followed by Rastafari Makonnen being crowned Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia. Haile Selassie ascended the throne with titles of King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and conquering line of the tribe of Judah, fulfilling the biblical prophecy as emphasized by Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey is in fact the precursor to Leonard Percival Howard he came in at 1898 and went out in 1981, also known as the Gong, or Gangan Guru, and he's known by many as the first Rastafarian. So Marcus Garvey is really the first Rasta before Rasta was given, before Garveyites were given the name Rasta. So in addition, the first preachers of the Rastafarian religious movement were said to be Leonard Percival Howard, Joseph Hibbert, Archibald Dunkley, and Robert Hines. These were preachers that brought in the religious, the churchical sense of Rasta, and they were Rastafarians. Leonard Percival Howard was the first one to say His Imperial Majesty is divine, is a divine deity, is a deity. And that's where the worship of Selassie began, where a lot of Rastafarians see Selassie as God Almighty or as Jesus Christ come again, and so on and so forth. So now I'm going to get into the new faculty: Black authority, Black on Black integration versus crime and criminality. We had to understand that Leonard Percival Howard was also a Garveyite that says, I see what Garvey has prophesied and I accept it. I'm going to, speak about it. And I'm going to make him a biblical character. And so the new faculty, Black authority, Black on Black integration versus crime and criminality. The new faculty was introduced to me by the Rastafari International Ambassador, Jabunny, AKA Runaway Slave, the Badass. He has a YouTube channel, all you got to do is put any of those terms in and you can pick him up, and he's the authentic, he's like the archive for the true growth of Rasta, how it started. His father was the first man, is one amongst the first. The son of Mortimer Plano, that's his father. Mortimer Plano St. George Kumi Plano. He was born in Cuba. He's a Jamaican born in Cuba. Was a renowned Rastafarian elder, drummer, Bob Marley's Rastafarian teacher, and a follower of Marcus Garvey Back to Africa movement. Jabunny was instructed by his father to introduce to the Black nation the new faculty of thinking. He was then chosen as to be the Rastafari International Ambassador to the Black nation throughout the world. And I met him through, I just stumbled upon a feed one day, and he has educated me quite a bit, because my tradition of Rasta is different from his tradition of Rasta, but this is how the information pertaining to Rasta comes down. It comes down through livity. You have to live it in order to know it. It's not a thing of belief. You have to walk that path. I am Chiwara Ochosi, harmonious unity of creation, fearless arrow. I am an indigenous Rasta man. I am a son of the supreme, immortal, divine mother and divine father. Many may call our parents, our mother and father, the divine feminine, divine masculine. I'm a son of the divine mother and fathers, indigenous to life. The divine mother and father is indigenous to life, as I am indigenous to life. And therefore, as I am a son of the divine mother and father, then therefore I am supreme, I am immortal, and I am divine consciousness of self. Therefore, life is my religion, if I am to have a religion. Life, and I live it religiously. Life is my religion, my culture, and my tradition. The name of the ruler or the God in this religion is righteousness, and is within all of us and permeates all of life. As a result, there's no need for religion as defined by society or societies or the world, because we were already born into a religion, which is life, which has taken care of us because of the divine mother and the divine father has fed us through different means. The new faculty speaks specifically and exclusively to the Black nation. Specifically and exclusively to the Black nation. Faculty for our purpose is defined as an inherent mental or physical power. A faculty refers to any of our mental and physical abilities. If we lose our faculties, we are powerless. No faculty, no power. All Black people will not be able to activate the new faculty. It is a radical, internal, and external change. It is an involution and an evolution. The involution is inner evolution. Not all of us is going to be able to evolve. Not because we can't. There are things within the whole energy sphere, which my brother DX mentioned in his presentation, I think a week ago. He spoke about the quantum field, because that has been disturbed. Not all of us will be able to make it over, because not all of us will be, some of us are really content and happy in our oppression. So they're not going to be able to make it over. So it is a radical internal change of requiring total internal and external disconnection from all colonial and imperialist societal programming. The new chattels and chains is this societal programming, as well as denouncing and renouncing things anti-self. What are the things that are anti-self? Crime and criminality is anti-self. Unrighteousness is anti-self. These are the things that we must denounce and renounce publicly, not to ourselves in our little homes with our little families and whatnot. We must do this as a nation of people. We must see ourselves as a nation. This is a new faculty. We must see ourselves as a nation, not as just people. See, this must happen. We must do this spontaneously. Denounce and renounce all things anti-self, crime and criminality, and spontaneously reconnecting to our Black genius and authority. Our Black genius and our Black authority. This will aid in repairing the quantum field through Black on Black integration. Now, we've already experienced what? Civil rights, and what did they give us? Integration. But it's a bastardized integration. And we have went the full measure of that integration. We have done everything as far as that is concerned. So the new faculty requires ultra fearlessness, reconnecting to the Black God, which is righteousness. Righteousness is our God. That's why Black folks in the Carolinas could forgive a young white man for killing them. For killing them in the church at Bible study. This is the proof to show us who we are. We are the closest to God than any other race of people, as proven by Gabriel Oyibo, Professor Gabriel Oyibo, who solved the God equation, Gij, comma J equals 0. God Almighty, grand, unified theorem. Gabriel Oyibo is the man that has proven that the Black man is the most intelligent man on the entire planet amongst all of the ethnicities of humanity. That's proven. Oxford know it, Harvard know it, Gangut know it. All of the top universities in the world know this. He has been there, and he has defeated every single one of their mathematicians and physicists. Gabriel, Professor Gabriel Oyibo. Look him up, please. So we have to reconnect to the Black God, righteousness, whom we see when we close our eyes to sleep. And again, when we complete our book of life journey to ascend to our ancestral realms and receive more life. We are not a people of death. We are a people of life. So we don't really think about death. You know, we have to get out of the criminal act of remembering Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, their death. No, we remember their lives at all times. It's their life. Everything is centered around life, because life is our religion, life is our culture, life is our tradition. They took that from us and gave us Christianity, gave us Judaism, but these are all our spiritual houses. Islam is our spiritual house. Christianity is our spiritual house. They just re-engineered it and brought it into an essence of where it would serve them rather than us, the Black nation. So all people of the global earth will benefit goodly due to the new faculty, and will also eventually learn how to go within to access the new faculty to freedom and peace. The new faculty separates the wheat from the tears. Every fig must find its fig tree. It releases those who activate from the captivity of their ignorance and passions, and catapults them into their goodness, which is our original state of being. Our original state of being is goodness. Mansa Musa proved that when he made his long journey, and wherever he found people that was destitute, he gave them gold. That act alone crippled many societies which he passed through, because they were living off the suffering of people. Our commonwealth is different from the commonwealth of those who established the Berlin Conference, and is now to this day still terrorizing our people within Africa and the diaspora. So goodness is our original state of being. Therefore, there are other effects and affects that cannot be covered in this hour. However, there's one crucial rule. Once you have activated the new faculty of thinking, you cannot turn back, you cannot look back or go back. Those who do will forever be spent, rendered powerless. Once entered into the new faculty, you have chosen the light of goodness, your highest mind consciousness. If you return back to the darkness of material nature, your ignorance and your passion will attack you with a vengeance you never knew existed. I have walked the path, and I've lived in this path of Rasta for 47 years. And life has taught me many things. Taught me that Rasta is Black authority in action, because Rasta is resistance. Resistance to all that is anti-life. In the word resistance is the word stance. The new faculty is the Black nation's final card. This is our card. Our final stance is the new faculty. Crime, healthcare system, agriculture, education, housing, and judicial system, and there are other systems, subsystems that have been erected to criminalize us, to assault us, to destroy us. These systems I just mentioned is where all criminality is exercised religiously by the imperialist and colonialist structures. Their offsprings are keeping the ball going. That's why there's no change. They don't want change because they're enjoying the fruits of their labor and their foreparents' labor. So they do this and they exercise religion. The crimes is all around us. It's time to make a stance. Therefore, it's time to make a stance. There is nothing else to do. No other moves that we can make that we have not made that will make a difference. Anything that we do now, we will have already been done. Only thing now is to do what we have not done, and that is to take a stance, be a nation, unify ourselves, harmonize ourselves within this unity, not just come together, be harmonious. And like I say, some of us will not be able to make that move because we're going to be like Lot's wife who turned to a pillar of salt. She was out of the city. The city was in flames, and it was a horror what was happening. But because she's so lost, she felt like she lost something. I know what's going on. Why am I out here? She turned, and that was her demise.
Brothers,
so there's no turning back.
Excuse me.
And so I'm open for questions at this time. Anytime, I'm done right now.
Hey, that last thing that you just said, where does that come from, and can you repeat that?
The Lot's wife turned a pillar of salt.
Yes, can you talk about that?
That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible.
That's biblical. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the Bible. You know, Lot and his family was told that he would be saved, and so, you know, Babylon was going to be burnt. Sodom and Gomorrah was going down, and they were leaving the city. They're on their way out. They're free. They're safe. They're running, and the only thing that was told to them: do not look back. But because the wrath of God was taking the Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't like men coming to attack the city. It was God's power, like the Ark of the Covenant. You know, that power, that almighty power of our ancestors. See, that's why I say life is our religion, our culture, and our tradition, because there's nothing more powerful than life. Life is the most powerful force that there is, and all forces are swallowed up by life. All religions are swallowed up by life. And if it were not for life, no religion would exist. No religion as we know it would even exist. No situation. So, you know, basically, I tried to do something that really is more to it. But you know, another aspect of the new faculty is our ability to become gods again. You know, what does God do? What are the characters and personality of the Most High? The Most High knows everything, and there's nothing that the Most High does not know. The Most High, God Almighty, creator, what we call God, life, knows nothing and knows everything. The all in all and the all that is all. So this is our culture. Life is our culture. That's why we were able to do the things we did, because life spoke to us and we conversed with life. And we drew things out of life, and then what life do? Drew things out of us. And we showed the evidence. So the thing with the new faculty is we're saying, listen, we need to stop because there's nothing else. What else can we do here? This is a death culture. We don't come from that. They're only going to give us death, dead things, not living things. And whatever they do will be not to promote life, but to demote life. I mean, Planned Parenthood, who does that? Who comes up with that? Planned Parenthood should mean you help the couple plan their motherhood and fatherhood. No, they say, no, we're gonna help you plan it, destroy the child. This is a very touchy situation. Criminality again. You see these movie stars now, they're talking about how they're getting paid so much little bit of money to do what the white folks do, and then the white folks getting paid so much money to do the same thing they do. With this color purple thing going on, I'm hearing about. I haven't looked into it, but I kind of imagine I know what it is. The new faculty means we think different now. We must look at the fact that we are so educated. We are overeducated. Why aren't we coming together and putting that education to work? Why aren't we doing that? Because the system that we propped up, that's not their intention for us to do anything like that. We must not what? Have authority. Because with authority, this is what the authority is here now. See, with authority, you have authority, right? The power or the right to give orders and make decisions and enforce obedience. Do we have that? We don't have none of that. We don't have the power or the right to give orders. We say to the police, or the police say license registration. We say to the police, what am I being stopped for? Turn around, put your hand. Come on now. We don't have no authority here. In the scriptures, I don't know exactly where it is in scripture, but I think Deuteronomy somewhere, because I'm not a Bible reader like that. I read the Bible, and I'm not like a Christian Bible reader. It says if God says if you're being assaulted over here, get up out of there and go somewhere else. See, when we move into their neighborhood, they get mad, pissed off, put crosses and burn crosses on the lawn. They do all kinds of things. Now it's our time to say, okay, fine. You stay over there. We're going to stay over here. We don't want to be over there with you. Since you don't want us over there, you can come into our communities now, today. You can go in any black neighborhood, and white men want to go in there and rent a house or ain't no Negro's going to move out because he moved in. So we now have to have the understanding that we are equal. We are equal. We have the faculty, the black genius. The reason I use the word ascent is because it means to climb, to rise, to upgrade, to act. It's the act of rising upward, to ascent, to climb, to advance or progress. So instead of saying we have African descent, no, we descend. We are of life descent. We descend from life into our mother's womb. From our mother's womb, we descend through the birth canal. We descend from our spiritual self into our physical self and into the world, into the earth. And once we come into the earth, we don't descend, we ascend, we grow up. We don't go down. So we have to understand the trickery of these words and the subliminal suggestion and emotional untherapeutic energy. So we don't descend, we ascend. We are from the African ascension, ascendants. My ascendants are. See? So we rising, man. This is not, we must be ultra positive and fearless. You know, I don't like to talk to myself, so I want to take some questions, man.
Hey, so Brother Tawara,
Yes.
let me say this, man. Do you know that our platform is about what you're talking about changing this mindset, deleting the old deaf mindset, because that's what it is. And I totally agree with you. And one thing we can start doing, and I kind of came up with this listening to Neely Fuller Jr. We need to be doing things that is constructive
Absolutely.
versus non-constructive. And then when you do that, you're automatically depleting the system that we're in, because they're expecting us to be non-constructive. And that's how they feed off of that non-constructive and then just obliterate us. But if we're constructive people, it tears the system down. That's in existence.
Check this out.
Yeah.
The zygote. My wife is a midwife and an RN. I just study life itself. The zygote, when the egg is fertilizing the fallopian tube and makes its journey down, she's descending down and lodges itself in the uterus. It is an actual parasite and is feeding on the mother's womb. As it does that and develops itself, the zygote, that clot, turns into the brain stem. But that zygote is not gone. It actually is embedded in the pineal gland. You see, now that's one part of the journey. All of us came here that way. Now, the other part of the journey was that zygote was one of billions of sperm cells. Billions of, there was just, you couldn't number them, but only one made it to the destination. Now, what happened to all the rest of them? They say, well, they didn't make it. So we all automatically assume that they died, or they just know they're no longer relevant. But that's not true, because based upon the law of life, which energy cannot be destroyed and cannot be created, something had to happen to the rest of those energy that could have been, if it was a billion sperm cells, it could have been a billion beings, which in fact, it was a billion beings. But they were responsible. If you didn't make it, they had designated places that they were supposed to go. They fall into specific areas and dimensions of time and space. Now, when the one that made it term is finished and descends from the birth canal, all of those other entities or cells or sperm cells that went wherever they went become what you call their elementals that follow them throughout their entire existence on the planet Earth. Protects them, talk to them, show them things. You understand? They come to them in dreams. This is a part of that person's, whole makeup. So we're like, what they taught us about ancestry is fake. What they taught us about God is lies. What they taught us about being a man is lies. Being a woman is life. So when we talk about the new faculty, we're talking about for real new. We're not talking about new like shining pretty. No, it's a return. And there's nothing can stop this. This is a God order. Because I said Gabriel Oyibo has brought the God order into existence. So the name of Africa actually is called Gagut. God Almighty's Grand Unified Theorem, Gagut. And the name of the people of Africa in today's time, is called Gagutians. That's who they are. That's who we are. We are Gagutians. We come from God. We don't come from nowhere else. And when you say God, we're really giving it, it's really the divine mother and divine father. That's who we are. Because there's 26, or is it 23 chromosomes from your mother, 23 from your father inside of you to make you the one being. So you're actually male and female. I'm male and female. So, you know, and when we connect, when we reconnect, that's why they don't want Africa and the diaspora to connect. Because once we connect, then what happens? You have the energy of God flowing through the earth. Now we controlling the earth. Why do you think we ain't got no Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines? Because that's our connection with God is our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. The Most High said in the Bible, the least you do to the least of mine, I'm gonna take care, I'm gonna deal with you. So what, you know, everything we possess comes from our divine mother and father, the provider, the great provider. Why would our divine mother and father not provide for us? That's why starvation and all that is bullcrap. It's bullcrap. Homelessness, overpopulation is nonsense. If you're overpopulated over here, going over there where nobody lives and cut them trees down and build another town. Because what's happening? There's a balance. On one side is life, the other side is death. So there's a balance. Life and death work together. What is our mission? The new faculty? Why is the new faculty coming now? Because this is when we get back on track. So you have to remember, we were interrupted. Our progress was interrupted, was arrested. Our development was arrested. Hence, arrested development. Why do you hate me? It's not because I'm Black. Why do you abuse me? Why do you disrespect me? Why do you spit on me? Why do you belittle me and berate me? It's not because I'm Black. It's because I'm intelligent. They didn't take Malcolm X out because he was Black, or Martin Luther King because he was Black, or Patrice Lumumba because he was Black, or Steve Biko because he was Black. They took them brothers out because they were intelligent. They're genius. They're Black authority. And these brothers weren't trying to hurt them. Why did they take Christ out? What did Christ do? They try to make it look like, oh, Jesus Christ was just a sweet man, and they just crucified him, and he was a perfect man. He didn't do nothing wrong. Ain't that like what they're doing to Black folks today? We ain't do nothing wrong. Why y'all coming down on us like this? Okay, so, but they don't want to tell you that Christ was a revolutionary. He was a resistant. He was a resistance. He resisted the hidden elements of the Roman Empire. He was a resistor. He was a revolutionary. And when he stood up, he didn't stand up to destroy them. He stood up to just speak the truth. Because that's all he was, just a righteous man living righteously, respecting life and showing others that there's no need to be so crazy about life. Just turn to the Father, you know, just go to your divine mother and father, you know, and let us all live in love. Let's love one another. We don't need Rome. We don't need them. He told them, give Rome what belongs to Rome, and unto God what belongs to God. He was telling them, give life what life asks for. Give Rome what they want. Let them go about their business. But there were those that were dealing with dark energies, man. Because even Pilate said, I don't see no wrong in this man. So, I can't be a part of this. Rome washes hands of this affair. Though I don't know what y'all doing over here. This man already said, Caesar faces on the coin, and give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. And we don't care what y'all get to your God. As long as you give us this coin, these taxes, that's what we come here to see about, because we heard that you were telling people don't pay their taxes. And Jesus said, hey, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So it's not because we're black. It's because we're intelligent, and our intelligence threatens them in their delusion. They have a psychosis. Because there's no need to fear the black man. There's no need to fear the black man. The black man is not a monster. I think it was 4 or 5 Jewish men started Hollywood. They don't want to create the monster concept and monsters and all this business. But there's no greater monster than them. And we have experienced it throughout our whole experience of what they call the enslavement of our people. Because we weren't enslaved. We never was and never will be. We were just enslaved. We were the enslaved people. We were prisoners of war, and so on and so forth. So the new faculty is where we say, we're not going to ask them for anything anymore. We're going to control our education system. We're going to control our housing system. We got enough black builders to build homes. We're going to control everything. That we're going to control our agricultural system. We're going to control everything that we say we are partaking in this system. We're going to control our health system, because we're going to deal with maintaining ourselves as whole beings, healthy beings. They say it's a healthcare system, but you only use it when you're sick. See? Then they got the pharmaceuticals, and they say Food and Drug Administration. So you're going to administer to me food and drug, the same entity administering the drugs, the same entity administering the food? That's a legislation thing. Because I don't want nobody administering drugs to administer food to me. Because I don't need drugs, because I already understand that drugs have side effects, and side effects are toxic and will kill you. So these are the things where the new faculty comes in, because we have to begin to think differently. We have to begin to take responsibility and not be afraid of being righteous. A lot of people are afraid of being righteous. They think that, they would more easily go do some foul, degrading stuff to themselves and to others before they treat themselves proper and treat others proper. So this is what the new faculty is all about.
Brother Gerard, let me get to the panel here.
Yes, please.
Brother Hembrick, long time no see. Glad you're here this evening. Brother Hembrick? Okay, I'll come back. Brother DX?
Yeah, peace and blessings. Yes. Man, this is indeed a very spiritual, intellectual conversation with, wow, Chihuahua, thank you very much.
And you're so blessed and welcome.
Man, you collected a lot of dots for me this evening. And just the concept of a new faculty, because that is absolutely what is taking place. A lot of the information that was assimilated many years ago, like 20, 30 years ago, when certain people, such as, the Malcolm X's, Patrice Lumumba, some of the other scholars, Dr. Clark, and so many others that, provided certain information that wasn't, readily available at certain times. And now, we're like the product of that information, and, just coming full circle with, everything that's happening. I just want to kind of put it out there with the new faculty information you know, the concept of creating, you know, a system that's functional within the midst of everything else that's happening. It's three things, from certain documentations what I've read and just kind of understood, and we just kind of put it out there. But the three things basically, even with Marcus Garvey and what he kind of explained, with race first and some of the other doctrine that's been said, Mao Zedong, the art of war. When you build a nation, it's three things, principles that build a nation. One is spirituality. You know what I'm saying? A common goal, just like with with you know, the United States is Christianity for the most part. You know, how the holidays are built, the concept of what the laws are based on, the generality of the culture itself is based on, the Protestant Christian values, even though there are other sects of religion and other spirituality that does exist within it. The basis of the culture itself and the authority, as you spoke, is based on a Christian value. So, and like Rasta is a basic concept of spirituality that's not basically based on a religious concept, but based on, prophecy and way of living, the liberty of it all. Your concept of righteousness and, walking in a certain light that is important for humanity to know that this type of being does exist, just being in morality. Then you have, aside from spirituality, you have or a religion of sort, or spirituality, I will say, you also have government, a system of um, distributing the resources or whatever those resources are, and functioning in, we was talking about like the education, the sewer system, the laws, different things of that nature, what to do with the oil. We got the land, who do we sell it to? Do we give it to Haiti and get coconuts, or, you know, those type of decisions. So then, aside from that, you must have a military, something to protect the resources and protect your religion or your belief or your spirituality, because of the other entities that does exist. Saying that's part of the problem. Like, we didn't protect and have not been protecting, the means of our resources and the culture in which we have. We, you know, even our people, what I'm saying, not being protected in a way that, we can um, have the culture and protect our culture. And that's all I have to say. And just thank you, Chihuahua, for, man, just bringing all this forward. And special thanks to all the panel and everybody here today. One love and
Positive.
happy living.
Yes, positive, positive. In terms of the different areas that you touched on, it's beautiful, because the beautiful thing about the religion of life is that the religion of life has already fail-safe features. The only reason we came out of it was because of the intelligence factor. See, because when you are up against barbarism, straight up knucklehead, niggardly behavior, uncivilized behavior, then to wisdom and intelligence, our ancestors shape shifted into another type of an energy. And see, this energy is called acting. How do you think we made it to the enslavement of our people and the barbarism that took place on those plantations, and the barbarism that's been taking place in the society ever since Emancipation Proclamation? Because we shifted into another energy. This energy is called acting. And so we had to act for damn near 3,000 years, 2,600 years. So now that Gargut, which is the God formula, what Einstein and and every one of those Caucasian so-called mathematicians and physicists were looking for, we brought it in Gaga. That's why they killed J.P. Magufuli, because he didn't embrace the COVID and all that kind of nonsense. He instituted the Gaga formula for taking care of that. Gaga is a God order. It says to the black man, stand up now. Begin now. Return to your genius. Do not be afraid. Speak up, speak out. Stand up, stand out. Do not be afraid to come together as a people. Like I say, not all of us going to be able to do that. See, because it's a wine is a mocker, and strong drink is raging. And whomever is deceived by it shall perish. So now, here go the wine. Oh, I'll give you a little education. Ooh, I feel good. That wine make me feel good. I get some education. Now I look at my brother who don't have no education, like he ain't shit. So now, oh, I'm making $35,000 a year. Yeah, man. Okay, now the brother that's making 10,000 or 20,000 ain't shit. Oh, now I'm making $250,000. I make $300,000 a year. I'm making $500,000. I'm working for Fortune 500. That's the strong drink right there. That's the liquor. That's the shit that Kanye West is on. You know, that's the shit that Michael Jackson was on. That's the shit that Prince got on. That's the shit that Jay-Z is on, and Beyonce. They drunk. They drunk. They trying to make, oh, you know, I'm a goat. You know. They do all of these things. Where are they supposed to be at? Can you imagine if those individuals one day just woke up and institute the new faculty of thinking in their head, like Floyd Mayweather, and every single black boxer, and every single black baseball player, and every single black football player, and every single black actor and actress, and every single black businessman, every single black lawyer, every single black doctor? Come on, man. Listen, we are no threat to the people. We are a threat to the ideology of white supremacy. Because there's no such thing as white supremacy. Because life is supreme. I say, I'm a son of the supreme, immortal, divine mother and divine father. Therefore, I am supreme, immortal, and divine consciousness of self. That's the new faculty of thinking. But it's not a belief. You ain't got to have no faith. It's just the truth. They taught us that ancestors were those parents, those people of flesh that's like us, that our bloodline. No, our ancestors is darkness and light. That's our first ancestor. No, matter of fact, our first ancestor is just energy. Energy. And the second ancestor is darkness. Because the energy moved over the face of the deep. And our third ancestor is light. Let there be light. And then all of the rest of our ancestors came into existence by the power of the energy, the word. And when the word was tired of talking, the word said, I got to shut up. But before I go, let me put supreme intelligence in place. Let us make man in our image. That's the intelligence. And after our likeness, after our kind, that's the supreme intelligence now is getting ready to be made. And they both were made, male and female. He made them both. The energy made them both. And that's us today. But we are the lowest form and yet the highest, because we were given dominion over all things that were created that had life. This is the religion of life. When you there's nothing more raped, more polluted, more cursed, more destroyed than life itself. Look what they do to the earth. They detonate nuclear weapons, send missiles. Every day they're spreading chemtrail and all these things in the atmosphere. There's nothing. So when we sit there crying, oh, you know, the white man, this, no, no, no. I'm sympathetic with life. You know, I ain't with this, what they call it, what they call it, this weather. You know, they talk climate change. Just listen to that climate change. Don't the climate change? You got 4 seasons, okay? You got 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Don't the climate change in their 4? So what are they talking about? Climate change. There's no such thing. Multicultural. Don't we have multicultural? No, we have various different cultures on the planet. Indigenous people and Aboriginal people all over the earth. Isn't the earth already a multicultural place? So, you know,
Brother
these are the
Tamara,
things, you know.
Professor Rob probably have some questions. I know he was writing down a few things.
Well, I'm waiting for questions anyway, so.
Go ahead, Professor Rob. You're on mute.
First of all, I would say Asante Sana, which is many thanks for you being on the program and expressing and bringing this light and information to it. And appreciate what you said, if I understand it correctly. When you say a new faculty, the way I'm receiving it is that it's a new way of thinking that is a part of your nature and a part of the universal vibe that you know, that you draw from understanding life. Life is, as you said, is the religion. Now, could you let me know where I understand individuals may represent that type of thing, like yourself, like you said, Marcus Garvey, Martin Delaney, Back to Africa movement with Eric Blyden and their movements. But at the same time, when you're in, I mean, your mind is a powerful thing. I agree with you on that. You know, your mind, you know, that's your faculty. You know, that's how some people can go into prison and come out unscathed. Some people go in and lose their mind, you know, because they just didn't draw from the inner strength or didn't know they had it. My point to you is, you know, it's very difficult to get people to want to use that power. You know, I mean, there are some people just, you know, I just want to just have fun. I don't want to be that deep. I don't want to do that deep. How do you cultivate a consciousness, as you was elaborating on, to make people, to get people to see their inner power and to see life different from the way they were raised or the way it was imposed on them, somebody else's reality, somebody else teaching them what to think, how to think, somebody, you know, like educating them, training them, or imposing them, brainwashing them, whatever. So how I mean, because see, I'm looking for a space that people with a new faculty and a new authority, Black authority, where are they going to be? I mean, you know, we're in that, you know, like you said, Marcus Garvey was Pan-African. I mean, Martin Delaney was the one that they say coined the term Pan-Africanism and things of that nature. So what is it? I mean, we tried to have Pan-African Congress meetings. We had about 6 or 7 of them, but you don't even hear people talking about Pan-Africanism. The word, I taught the class.
Yeah.
Many people never heard of what Pan-African is. You know.
Because Pan-Africanism, in
I'm,
many
that's not what
ways,
I'm asking. I'm asking you, where is this space where people can do what you're doing without? I mean, how you come go get people to see life the way you see it? Are they? You say they already got it, and they
no,
have
it's
to.
in all of us. It's in all of us.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what you're pointing at is, since we're in a world that is not pro-life, this is a death culture. So we're in a space where everything is based on material nature. You know, if it don't make sense, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. But in order to make a dollar, you got to have a cent and another cent and another cent. So if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. You see? So what I'm saying, in this time, what we have to do is understand that everything we need, we already have. So when we come to the table, it's going to be on two bases: the goodness and the goodwill. When Brother DX asks about the system, you know, different systems, spiritual systems and the government and all that, well, the government has to function on these two principles: goodness and goodwill. Now, people will say, man, that system ain't gonna last too long, right? And the reason they say that is because they don't see that. See, they don't see that anywhere. Where the scriptures say righteousness exalts a nation. Now, the preacher man in the church and all the churches, don't care what denominations they are, they know this, that God says righteousness is the only thing that is going to exalt a nation. The Constitution says gold and silver is the only legal and lawful real money.
Yeah,
right?
but see, when you say God said,
Well, I'm talking about the Bible. I'm talking about the Bible.
Well, the Bible was written by people.
Yeah, I know this, but I'm trying to talk to you about what your question you asked me. See, because I have to talk on through the lens of the people you're referring to. See, the lens of the people you're referring to, I'm not looking through their lens. But when a question comes to
the Bible, different from what you're talking about.
But I'm not even interpreting the Bible. I'm just saying what the Bible says. I'm not interpreting that. The Bible says that. I'm not making an interpretation of what that means to be righteous, because I already know what righteousness is. Righteousness is goodwill and goodness, and you treat people like you want to be treated. Righteousness is a man that's being fair. He's not going to steal. You can leave your door open and your windows open. Ain't nobody going to come to you.
Reality? Is that reality?
No, that's real. Reality could be whatever a person wanted to be, but that's real. In terms of when you say righteousness, goodness, goodwill, those are things that's inborn in people. People don't have to define that.
Yeah, but you got people born with mental illness, and some people with brain issues that makes them evil and makes them bad.
Okay. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. A person with mental illness is not responsible for their behavior because they have lost their faculty. They have no power over themselves. They'll walk in front of a speeding truck because they're mentally ill. You understand what I'm saying? Now, another person that don't have no control over themselves is a baby. Those are the only two people.
People on drugs, people on alcohol.
Yeah, but they on drugs because they took the drugs. These are
right.
self-imposed madness.
But they're still out their mind.
What's that?
They're still out of their minds.
What's the root cause, though? The root cause is the system in which they're in. The system is like a petri dish. Inside the system, you put everything in there that's going to feed the person rightly. They're going to flourish. It's going to be no mental illness. It's going to be a functional people because they're feeding on everything that they were supposed to feed on, eat on, everything in every mental, spiritual, and physical. Now you take that same people and you put them into another petri dish that's filled with stuff that is just toxic. It just weakens them. They end up with arthritis. You know, they end up with heart disease. They just, I mean, they just mentally gone. They just, because there's nothing in there that feeds their mind, their soul, and their body. Now, you take that, they're almost going to die now. They're almost about to die. You pick them out of that, you put them back into the petri dish that has everything for their substance. All of a sudden, they come back to life. So the reason why people are the way they are is because they're in a system, in a jurisdiction that is designed to keep them that way. Now, everything that they have done to try to survive, to try to make it work. You know, they worked with the system. So we're gonna work with the system because we don't want to die. We're gonna work with the system. We're gonna do whatever that master say do, we want to do it. And we've been doing it. And we adapt all the diseases and the illnesses, including the mental illness, of the same master. We didn't have that on the plantation because he couldn't tolerate no mentally ill slaves talking about they're picking cotton.
No, he killed them. And
That's
old
right.
people that didn't work, he killed. But my
He
point
makes
is
money off of them today. He makes money off of mentally ill people today.
I understand
See,
exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying that in the dynamic, even on the continent of Africa, it could be in Haiti, it could be in Jamaica, it could be where Brazil, where the majority of Black people are, besides Africa.
Yes.
I mean, they're not practicing it. And,
Yeah,
and you can't be closer to nature than the continent of Africa.
Yeah, I'm on a Zoom.
You know, Africa, that's the Garden of Eden. That's where the first people came from. So all that, but still you see being contaminated by Europeans, Asians, and Russians that's over there with military apparatus, making them fight each other. The Native American lived the life that you're talking about. They believed in righteousness. Here come the guy, took it, and said, hey, I have another reality. And what I'm trying to get you to explain to me is, how do you function in a capitalistic, dead and toxic environment?
You don't.
Be the person that you can be.
What I'm trying to tell you, you don't function in it. You adapt a new faculty and you get yourself out of it. You have that right. You have that right to do that.
Where you gonna go?
Wherever you choose to go, where you don't have what you are leaving out of. The earth belongs to life. The earth don't belong to this man or that man.
Well, you got to tell the military that, you know.
Huh?
You know, but
well, you know, like I say, that's why you have to have a fearless. You have to have a fearless countenance. You can't have a countenance that decide things based upon fear or anything like that, because they use terror. They use terror. They use brutality. They're still barbarians. They never. Some of them, not all of them, are the same way, but those that hold the power today, and their offsprings, they are power-hungry, bloodthirsty people. So how you deal with people like that? You get away from them. You go somewhere else. You don't stay in their jurisdiction and think you're gonna make them change. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you have to have the fortitude, you have to have the courage, and you have to have the skill and know-how to go and build for yourself somewhere else. Now, you know, they put a town under a lake, a black town that was built. They took another one and burned it to the ground. Okay, and they have done these are there's hundreds of black towns that we built and was living in, and they came and did what they did. Why? It's either a white woman screamed and told a lie, and something like that went down and got the folks to do what they did. Now, our mistake was, and I don't think it's a mistake, but it's how we dealt with it. We say, okay, fine, we're gonna go and live in your cities and in your term. But what we did, we stopped building our own. We stopped building our own cities, our own towns, because of what they did. So now we're at the point now, there's nothing else for us to do because we've done everything. We went to the universities, graduated. We have worked in the corporations. We have done everything. We have done every single thing. We have married their daughters, married their sons. We have done everything, and we still are treated the same way we were treated back then. And if they could string you up on a tree and lynch you, they would do that to you if they could get away with it and take trophies and things to take to their house. They would do it. Now, I'm not saying all of those Caucasians are like that, but I'm saying that's the fabric of their existence. So those people that separate yourself. You can't say you're an alcoholic and you want to stop drinking and you stop drinking. You ain't been drinking for a month now, but now you hanging out with people that are actual alcoholics and you hanging out with them. That don't make no sense. You see, so you have to change your jurisdiction. And we can't say we don't have the skills, because we do. We can't say we don't have the money, because we do. We can't say we don't have the rights, because we do. But it's just that we're not using them. And those amongst us that have the knowledge of how to operate within law, both national and international law, they won't come up and stand and make a stance. Those who can construct buildings and stuff, we're not coming together to do all of these things. So all a person like myself can do is continue to speak the truth, speak it ever, cause it what it will. That's one. And then make myself an example. If I'm telling you to stop eating this and stop eating that, and showing you, and I'm showing you I'm a living example of health and being healthy. And this is what I do. This is what you need to do from time to time. This is how you need to govern your eating. This is how you need to govern your dietary system. These are the things you need to take into your body. These are the places you need to avoid. That's all I can do until I am in a position to do more, which I'm working on. I'm working on that position. Like even now we're on the Zoom, right? So the Zoom is, who owns Zoom? Not us. Who owns YouTube? Not us. But I'm working on a company now where that belongs to us, that can monetize any currency and any what you call product. We deal with gold, silver, any precious metal, anything of value, your intellectual property. And it's a company that's built by Black people, owned by Black people, and operated by Black people. You see? But can you get Black people to support that? Like another thing, a genius like Gabriel Oyibo. He already proved himself to the world. You never heard of him because they won't give him the Nobel Peace Prize. They won't acknowledge him on their platform, on their energy. Because they don't, you see, that they was expecting a white man to achieve what he achieved. But it didn't come from a white man, it came from a Black man, because he went back to his ancestral math equations and figured it out. So we have to be in a position where we can award our own. Who did Grammy belong to? It don't belong to, Grammy's not designed by Black people. Emmy's not Black people. Oscar's not Black people. So our actors and actresses and all our great people that are so excel so much, we have to be able to come together, and we can do it as a people. But if for some reason we're not doing it because we're afraid, it's fear, because we fear we will lose if we make a stance. We fear that we will lose what we have, and then we don't know how to do things like white people do it, quietly. We think that we should do everything out in the open. No, we don't need to do that. We need to understand the art of strategy and tactics. There's certain things that we come together and we can talk about in the public eye, as we're doing now, but there's certain things we don't discuss. But we need to meet with people, not just for the sake of discussion, but for the sake of progress. In other words, why would I meet with somebody that can do something but have no intention of doing something? Why would I do that? It's a waste of time. And you're not inside of me, and I'm not inside of you, so you don't really know what I'm thinking. See, or how I'm really truly feeling. I have to trust you. And that's because our system is not based on goodwill. Because if it's based on righteousness, goodness, and goodwill, which is the character and personality of the Most High, the Creator, the energy that governs all things, the divine mother and father, if we're not doing that, then we're taking chances with each other. So we have to begin from scratch. Where two or three are gathered, the Most High, the energy is within the midst. So if we can come together as two people, or as three people, as four people, and sit down honestly, and sit down truthfully, and with goodness and goodwill as our support system, there'd never be nobody losing. There'd never be no starvation. I am my brother's keeper. And if we reinstitute that, these are the things that's why I say not all Black people gonna be able to ignite the new faculty, because it requires you to understand that you are mentally ill. You are not well. To acknowledge that and accept that, and then go make the moves to correct all of that. See, it's not magic. You know what I'm saying? It's not magic, but if we come together as a people, like I say, honestly, with goodness and goodwill, entrenched in the process, then we can move along as if it's magic. It's almost magical. You know, the swiftness of our rehabilitation, the swiftness of our healing and rejuvenation, the swiftness is outrageous. But fear is one of the biggest hindrance. You know, that's why it is written in the scriptures of the Christian dogma, fear not, oh ye of little faith. Fear and God has nothing in common. You know, so when we move, we have to move with courage and without fear, and with full confidence that our divine mother and father, which is God, will provide for us, will protect us, and will show us things that our human eyes can't really see. And that's one of the things that protects us, that because the Most High shows us things that we can't see. And if we respect one another and respect life, then life will open up to us, and life will give us all that we require to overcome whatever struggles we engaged in, you know. And sometimes we don't have to have struggles. We don't have to fight, you know. We don't have to do that. Just be peaceful and like I said, remove yourself. Like they say, what they left out of Egypt. They didn't stay in Egypt and try to change the Egyptian system. Say, let my people go. You know, according to, you know, the story is questionable, but you know, this was the real deal. You know, and at the end of the day, the way we get people to understand is just be the example. You know, if I find another man like myself, and we come together and we join our sacred space, and we work, as we manifest, others will come. If everybody's in the dark and somebody pulls out a flashlight and turns it on, everybody gonna go towards the light, because that's what it is. You know, we're in the dark searching, and if somebody has a daggone match and he strikes the match and says, oh, there's a light, they automatically go towards the light, because now they can see. But if we don't create anything, we can't expect anything to happen, you know. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If we don't prepare the meal, ain't gonna be nothing to eat, you know. You know, the divine mother and father provides for us the water to drink, but we have to drink it. You know, the food to eat, but we have to eat it. You know, we have to prepare it. We have to eat it. We have to, you know. And so at the end of the day, that's the law. You know, that's the law. You know.
Brother Gerard.
Yes.
Let's see if Brother Hembrick. Brother Hembrick.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there he is. Welcome back, man.
Thank you.
Peace and love, brother.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Positive.
Yeah, questions, just comments. I kind of dozed a little bit. I'm recovering from this COVID, man. It knocks me out. You probably called on me earlier, and I probably dozed off. But I
Mm.
about 6:08. But
You
anyway,
need to get you some neem. You need to get you some neem oil.
yeah. Well, I
Some neem.
got on my vegetables out in my garden. I use neem oil, but I don't think that's for me. But anyway, I'm good. I'm over it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
my strength back, and I do little stuff, and I get tired, and I just doze off, go to sleep. But anyway, appreciating the stuff that I caught that you said, and I agree wholeheartedly with a lot of it. Uh, and I believe that we don't have to go anywhere. We can go in a different place in our mind. We don't have to go to a physical place to get away from it because it's hard to get away from this white supremacy thing. But what's going on in your mind and in your heart? And uh, nature is big. I try to follow that, because nature don't lie. It's gonna be consistent uh, and whatnot, and that's the way I try to go. Uh, uh, I like well, I'm studying a few things, and like the Dogon, with the societies that they had and how they would leave the marketplace just open and nobody steal anything. That's the kind of cultural values we need to get back to. And 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 what Brother Ra was referring to, uh, those things is because we've absorbed and assimilated into this system that it's hard to discard that stuff. Uh, but I believe in goodwill, peace. Uh, I believe that we need to get to another mindset, and I've been studying that in the book, The Metal Netter, how we're thinking on the wrong side of the brain. The reason we're so screwed up, and we need to get it back on the correct side. Uh, but anyway, it's hard. Matter of fact, I'm trying to work some with my family now. Had to bury a couple of cousins, and I'm trying to gather up these little cousins and get a program together to help them redeem themselves out of the situations they in. It's a lot of illiteracy and people going to jail and dope fiend and all that old kind of stuff. And I'm working towards trying to get some folks in my family to see the light, and therefore we can share with them and try to bring them up out of where they are. But anyway, appreciating what you said, brother. And I love the concept of changing to the new faculty of thinking, because that's where it is. Uh, so that's it. I kind of missed some stuff, but I did catch a few.
I had a musician friend of mine. His name is Cedric Eam Brooks, and he's in the history of the Jamaican music. He's a jazz musician and reggae musician, and his organization was called Journey to Africa, and the whole concept that I learned from him was that it's not the continent. That Africa is really not the continent. That Africa is the people. And when I looked at it, I said, "Wow, okay." I took a different stance when it comes to when I hear the word Africa or anything like that, or any of my peoples. I know that it's not that geographical location; it's the people of those areas. Jamaica is not the island; it's the people. And so, people get caught up on a geographic location when journey to Africa simply means journeying within yourself. If you're not Africa inside, what good will Africa, the land, be to you? It's like Marcus Garvey say, some people are gonna have to stay back here. They can't come to Africa. because they're no good here in the United States. They're not good here in the West, and they'll be no good there. And so we have to understand when we speak about the new faculty, it's real, and it's a literal reality, and it's really not for everybody. It is for everybody, but it's not for everybody. It's only for those who can endure, you know, those who can tolerate. Because some people are so comfortable, they don't want to bathe in cold water. They don't want to do that. And you know, you give up the new, when you into the new faculty, you get in there, they're going to be uncomfortable to a certain degree for a certain period of time. And it's that uncomfortableness that separates those who are real or those who are just trying to escape. You see, because we're supposed to push together and pull together. We're supposed to walk together and live together. Because we're not here to die. We're here to live. And so, you know, to understand the new faculty, it covers everything. And the reason why being connected to life is so important is because we have to divorce the systems that we have now endorsed. We have to divorce those systems because those systems are not healthy and they are not good for us. And no matter what they put in the system, it's still designed to, number one, keep you there and never let you excel enough to the point where you can become independent. Independence is not a thing that will ever be achieved in their system. And it doesn't matter how you fix your mind or how you set yourself, it does not matter. As long as you're in that system will be egregious to you. And the moment you begin to build for your own in that system, they will slap you down because you are Black. Why you think white children, white young men don't get shot by police? Because when the police pull a gun on a little white boy, he sees his own son. He sees his daughter. But when he sees a Black people in the car and he pulls his gun, he don't see his people. He don't have the same kind. He doesn't have no incentive to not shoot. Matter of fact, he has more incentive to shoot because he's been trained to fear that which is not like him, that doesn't look like him. He doesn't understand that culture is normal, that it's okay for people to look different, because he's come up under a system of lies. His mother lied to him, his daddy lied to him, his granddaddy lied to his mama and daddy, and their grandmama and their mama lied to them, and their mamas lied to them. So they live in a total and ridiculous fabrication. So they come up thinking they superior, but we put them on a track field, we leave them behind in the dust. Put them in a classroom, we tear them up.
Can I ask you another question, brother?
Yes.
As often as I can, for my own self-edification, if you will, I sit out in the sun.
Yes.
And in sort of late evening time as it's going down, and so that I can get that pineal gland activated and the chakra build up inside and outside of me that can put me in connection with the ancestors in the cosmos. My question to you is, how do you see that in our people being able to recover themselves and get to that point that you're speaking of, for us to exist individually as a people within this system that we're in?
Okay, I want to be clear on the question itself. You're asking me, how do I see sitting in the sun?
How do you feel about, since we're the only people with melanin and we get it activated by being out there in nature and the sun, how does that help us get to the point that you're speaking of as a people, or do you think it has nothing to do with it at all?
No, yeah, it has a lot to do with it, because I said before, our ancestors is beyond what we've been taught. You know, the sun is one of our ancestors. The sun is the ancestor that, according to the scripture, the Christian Bible, and I'm not a religious person. I don't claim to be a Christian, but I was raised in a Christian family. I was Christian in the church, you know, Church of God, and my father was a Seventh-day Adventist. You know, but I am a Rasta man. So, and one of my ancestors is the sun. One of my ancestors is the moon and the stars. So there's a connection. If we disconnect from that, yes, our pineal gland is not going to function like it ought to. If we begin to eat the foods that they prepare for us, the Food and Drug Administration, that is, they prepare for us, and Bill Gates and all these people with their GMOs and all their bioengineered ingredients and all that kind of stuff. Yes, well, we're becoming more and more disconnected. If we don't walk upon the earth with our bare feet, we're not grounded. So we're going to develop all kind of different things. When the Black people were enslaved on the plantations, we were working all the time on a regular basis, and we were in the sun a lot of times. So we never had cancer. That was unheard of amongst us. But now we have cancer, and that's because we're not in the sun as much as we used to be. The vitamin D, that to take care of a lot of things that what we get from the sun, and not just vitamin D. There's a lot of other things we're getting from the sun, and there's a lot of other nutrients we're getting from breathing also. So once we adopt the new faculty of thinking, that means we return to righteousness. We return to being righteous people, not under the jurisdiction of the unrighteous people, because right now we are righteous people living under the jurisdiction of the unrighteous people. What I mean when I say jurisdiction, living under their authority. We're living under their authority. When Biden says if you don't vote for him or you don't vote for Democrats, you're not Black. I mean, how does being Black equate to a vote? You see, and then a lot of us don't understand and don't get the trick. We are under a trick system. In order for us to restore ourselves, we must find ourselves in our own jurisdiction. We're limiting ourselves to a particular space and a place when we can go to anywhere in the United States of America as Afro-Americans and establish ourselves. But we don't do it because we are afraid, and we just have no faith in God. We have no faith in ourselves. We have no faith in our ability and our education. We think our education is best served us if we go to work for the oppressor. I mean, look at all the nurses and the doctors. Black nurses and Black doctors. Why don't the nurses and doctors go build themselves a hospital? Come on. Look at all the Black educators. They're teaching in schools not built by them or for them. Why don't they just come together and build their own school? Look at the Black athletes and the Black people that are so successful that we all say we're so proud of. What role do they play in our demise or in our upliftment? It seems to me like everybody's playing, including ourselves, playing more towards our own demise than our upliftment. And all I'm saying is the reason for that is because we won't disconnect. It's our minds that are enslaved now. It's our minds that are enslaved now. And we need to develop a new faculty of thinking without fear of thinking. And that's the problem. We're fearing what will happen if. But then what the hell? They don't do nothing then. We are afraid of what will happen if we do this, if we do what's right. We're afraid of what will happen if we go build a school for ourselves. Huh? Are you kidding me? So who do you expect to build a school for you And if you don't want to build a school for yourself, why the hell are you arguing and bitching and moaning and groaning about the schools you're going to now? And how, oh, it's no good for your children there. And we're going to go down to the Board of Education and we're going to, it sounds insane to me. And I've been hearing this all of my life. All 68 years of my life. I'm hearing this and I'm looking and saying, okay. I started a school down in Florida called Serious Roots Homeschoolers. My wife is a midwife, so the school came about because the mothers were like, okay, what I do now, I gotta go back to work. I gotta go to work now, and what I do with my children. So we started Serious Roots Homeschoolers. And at one point, we had damn near 30 children. This is in my yard. In my yard. Next thing I knew, I saw a helicopter flying overhead. You see? Because I'm in their jurisdiction. I'm educating children. I'm not even educating children. I am, what do you call it? You say, to get the word educate, they control that word. They copyright and trademark it. So that's their word. If you use that word, now you I'm just telling you, man, there's a lot of energy that says we should not develop our faculty. We should not exercise our faculty. But God is saying that's your only choice. If you don't, then you're doing a disservice to your children, the next generation, and their children's children. If we don't come together and begin to develop businesses, start businesses so that our children, teenagers in high school, can come and work at our businesses and not go out here to McDonald's and Burger King and these crazy places to go work for these people. We have to do that. We have to do that as a people. We have to do that. Right now, I'm putting something together, and that's so I can just do what I can do. If there's anybody that has the wherewithal, the funds, and they don't know what to do with those funds, talk to me. Get in touch with Brother Rashaki, and we can share some ideas and show some things. I'm into health and healing. I'm into the proper eating and how do you detox your body and how do you maintain your health and how do you keep it moving? Because you have to keep it moving. That's the key to health. Keep moving your body. Keep moving. Just keep moving. You cannot sit still. You can be an elder, but you don't have to be elderly. They sold us lies in everything that we've been taught. Everything that we've been taught is a lie. We have to destroy certain words from our vocabulary. We have to change everything. Only the new faculty can really enable us to do that. Because as long as we're using the same old faculty, all we're going to see is problems. We're not ever going to see solutions.
Brother Tawara?
Yes.
I totally agree. But what we're going to do, we can come to a part 2. Either we could do it on Professor Ra's show, or I could schedule you for another show. And but I'm gonna see if I can speak with Professor Oyibo,
okay, or his representative, and I'm gonna see if I can speak to another brother who deals with Ayurvedic type of healing and things, so people can get another perspective on how you freeing yourself. You got to free yourself, but freeing yourself ain't what we think. Freeing, some people want to be free, but they don't know how to be free. Some people want to eat right, but they don't know what to eat. So therefore they stuck. Yeah. So we have to approach it from all different angles,
Yeah, there's a certain discipline and mindset that has to be developed. And like you said, to be an example. And that's what I've been working on, and I'm in that direction for sure.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do our close this evening, and
sure,
and we're gonna get you back on so we can continue this, because it's a way that we should be going. and I agree.
Okay, it's my pleasure being here. Like I say, once again, the new faculty entails, and I'm also going to see if I can get the Rastafari ambassador, international ambassador, to make an appearance if possible. You know, I don't know how he feels about that, but I think I'll talk with him and see what he says. But we do need to understand the urgency of our people to be serious. See, that's the thing about it. Our people must now be serious. It's not no time now. The act is over. We don't have to act anymore. We need to stop acting like we don't know. Or, yes, sir. You know, like we need to stop being so cautious. We need to come together and do what must be done.
Yeah.
Because the children depends on that.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The example will show that, and when you display courage and not fear, they will see that and follow. Because most people are going to follow. So if they see that people are being fearless and doing the things that they need to do to be righteous, you know, it's they have to see it. So
yes.
So it's up to the people who know to do it.
There's a saying that goes like this. He who does the wrong thing and hides it does the wrong thing still. You know what I'm saying? It is the example that we are having problem doing. You know what I'm saying? This is because you have to have that prototype of what we want for those who are in darkness, what we want for those that are up and coming, the children and the unborn children, is a prototype. We are the prototype. So we have to create that. And that is where the problem comes in, because many of us don't want to commit to creating a better future, to creating a now, which is the future. You see, and that's the bridge we have to cross right there. Is that bridge that says, we have to lose that.
I'll tell you what, I know the people here is in that direction, and Professor Ra's been on that road most of his life. So definitely.
Well, I'm here and I'm willing and I'm able. So, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. And as I develop, God willing, like they say in Islam, inshallah, and all praises to the Most High, that we're able to share more and more and more and build. We got to build and produce. We got to produce, so I'm looking forward to a continuation.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate you. Really do.
Yeah.
So, Professor Rao, we have anybody for Tuesday?
I thought you said somebody was.
That's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, and we got to get a confirmation.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Give thanks, Professor Ra.
All right.
Enjoy your energy. Enjoy everything that you're doing.
Same to you, my brother. Same to you. And
we will
appreciate
continue.
Everything you said. Appreciate all of it.
We got to build. Continue to build.
Right. Thanks everybody for coming out and participating. Brother DX, Machinda, and Brother Hembry.
Good brother.
Right. So we're gonna do our pause. Each one teach one. In Conscious Corner, we'll see everybody Tuesday.
Yes.
Next week's guest is Dr. Sherry Randolph, and the topic is Black Cinema, the Color Purple.